Alright guys, massive new patch notes. Let's go ahead and break these down, talk about which changes actually matter, which ones are kind of meh. I also find it interesting that we have to go back in time to apply these patch notes. Looks like a bit of a mistake here in the notes talking about when these updates are going to go live, but believe me, these notes are from today, so let's begin. Okay, good old Fortress, man. HP decrease from 51k, 5% HP decrease on the fortresses, fair enough. And melting points also getting some nerfs a little bit further on down as well, but we'll get to those too. I think that this is fine. Barrier shield HP adjusted from 40k to 36k level. These are pretty significant fortress nerfs, man, so I think that I'm fine with this, primarily because it kind of feels like almost every single game, if you're actually trying to win, kind of descends into either mass chaff clear melting point spam, or you get a fortress drop on the unit drop, right? And you just start a new turn with 3 or 4 new fortresses plus barrier, and then a fortress spam begins, you know? And that's just kind of the way it goes. So I'm totally fine to see fortress nerfs coming in. Whoops. I do think they are actually quite significant. Yeah. Good stuff. Honestly, I just like it. Next up, we've got Elite Marksman, adjusted to effect increases with unit rank, increasing range by 5, attack by 20% per rank increase. What was this before? I mean, maybe it was like a damage tweak or something? I'm pretty sure it was already increased range by 5 per rank after like a nerf not too long ago, so I'm not sure, maybe it's some kind of damage tweak. I'm not sure about that. Either way, Elite Marksman is always still going to be pretty damn premium as long as you've got levels on some of your guys, so that's fine. Vulcan HP increased by 4%. So I'm pretty sure Vulcan is like one of the lowest win rate giant units right now. It seems pretty crap, to be honest, primarily because it's just bad at its job. You know, I feel like the Wraith just does a way better job. Like crawler spam right now is what it's all about, right? Crawlers feel like the vastly superior chaff compared to Fangs. You can have some Fangs at the front of your army, whatever, to like absorb missiles and stuff like that. Fair enough, but it's really all about crawlers, and Vulcans are just bad at killing crawlers. They either need like more splash damage to their attack. It's always really bothered me that if the Vulcan gets like target locked on, say, like a fortress or something, right, and it's spewing flames at the fortress, if crawlers then like run through the fire and the flames, like the beam that's going at the fortress, they don't die. That's a change I'd like to see to Vulcan. Would really help it do its job. I'd like to see a tech on Vulcan that forces it to always target the lowest health enemy unit in range, right? Kind of similar to the steel ball tech that allows it to always attack the highest health unit in range. Just the reverse of that for Vulcan, I think would be a fine tech. Make it nice and cheap, 150 supply or something like that, you know? I think that would be totally fine. I'd like to see bigger changes than just a health tweak to the Vulcan. I don't think that this is enough, particularly. I don't think that it's particularly good. I think Vulcan still just going to be outshone by and large by the likes of even like splash damage Stormcallers or Wraiths, stuff like that. Just tend to do a much, much better job at killing chaff for the time being, at least from what I've observed. If you disagree, hey, let me know down below, man. So the melting point nerfs. Launch interval of the tech Electromag Barrage is adjusted from 13 seconds to 15 seconds, so it's going to be triggering less, because again, it would always just kind of boil down to, if you're actually trying to win games, Fortress versus melting point spam. Just kind of feels like what was happening, and then like a lot of Wraiths on either side, with like DJ and Aura, which has been nerfed as well, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So yeah, nerfing the Electromag Barrage just makes it so that the melting points are just less effective at clearing off those huge fortress barrier walls. So I think that's actually okay, given that the fortresses were nerfed as well. And the produce interval of the tech crawler production adjusted from 30 seconds to 32 seconds. This is very, very negligible. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Like, I don't think that this makes any real difference at all, to be totally honest. So we'll just go ahead and skip over that. Overlord, attack increased by about 6.5%, but the attack interval has been slowed down by an extra 0.2 seconds. I mean, I guess it makes it better at killing off enemy giant units and stuff, and just way less good at killing off like medium range units and things, that it was like one-shotting anywhere, because the attack interval's worse. I guess it's fine. I mean, I guess it makes the Overlord a bit more of a slightly better answer now to trading a bit more evenly with the likes of melting points, and does a bit better into fortresses after the fortress nerfs and stuff, so I guess that's fine. Arclight, this is quite a big change actually, dude. Charge shot adjusted to increase attack by 300%, but increase attack interval by 35%. A 35% attack speed malice? Dude, that is big. That's chunky, man. So if you go charge shot now, and you're going the route of carry style acolytes, or even kind of like mid-range acolytes, you know, even if you're not going to take them full carry, you got to be aware that when you push this damn button, yeah, your Aki is going to be much, much better at killing off steel balls, sledgehammers, stangs, that kind of thing. But my god, they're gonna suck at killing chaff. Like, real bad. They already kind of struggle against, like, shielded fangs if someone condescends to go shielded fangs. They're already okay against crawlers. Not the greatest, but if you push this button, these acolytes can no longer be trusted to deal with chaff at all. So just do bear that in mind. That's quite a consequential change. Next up, it's just a similar Elite Marksman tweak to Phoenix's, as it was for Marksman before. Not sure what this change is. I've got to assume it's an attack tweak. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. Was the range... Oh, I think the range was already 5. That's why I'm just a little bit confused by these changes. I might also just be crossing wires in my head right now. War Factory. Range decreased from 110 to 100. The War Factory is a really awkward unit. I could make an entire video talking about the War Factory, man. How it's either absolutely just broken OP, insane game winning, and you get to play it for like 1 or 2 rounds and the game's over because of like anti-missile tech and stuff like that, you know? Or you just never buy the War Factory ever because it fails as a carry unit, you know? And it's so expensive that it's very, very binary, right? You can't just casually throw a War Factory out there. Well, let's see if this works, you know? Like, you gotta be sure when you're grabbing yourself a War Factory, man. Nerfing the range on this thing? Yeah, maybe it just makes it a little bit more unbuyable, I guess. I'm not sure. Not sure how I feel about that. I haven't been playing with War Factory myself in a long time. Okay, Wraith. Degeneration Beam, boys. Here we go. This thing, honestly, dude, I tanked to like 1200 MMR over the past few days. Not gonna lie, the memes have been few and far between in my games recently. And lost all kinds of MMR, right? I farmed up like 200 MMR again in like 1 day from just blasting the hell out of Crawler and Wraith Degen Beam builds. Throw Sandworm in there with a Sandstorm every now and then. Then just like 1 sniper carry unit, Melting Point Phoenix, whatever at the back to actually kill things. And like, my god, Degeneration Beam is just a hard carry tech. And honestly, this is a very, very small nerf. I don't think this is enough. Anyway, projected a Degeneration Beam to enemy units within a range of 120 meters, which I think is already the radius. The affected enemy unit's movement speed is reduced by 40%, unchanged. Their attack is reduced by 20%, used to be 30%. And they take an additional 30% damage when attacked, which I think is also unchanged. Maybe I'm like misremembering. It would be really, really helpful if in these patch notes they showed like the before and after. Just a little bit of feedback there, in case anybody from the Mecha team is watching. But their attack reduced by 20%. Yeah, it used to be 30. Is this enough? I don't know, dude. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't feel like this is enough. I feel like it's just. I feel like it's going to be just as oppressive as before. I almost feel like their attack should be reduced by 0% by this tech, and it would still be pretty decent, you know. But hey, maybe I'm taking too much of a sledgehammer to it. What do you guys think, man? Degeneration Beam, though, like I say, has been boosting the hell out of me in ranked. In just my 1v1s, right? I still think it's gonna be very, very good indeed, even after this nerf. Scorpion. The cost of double shot decreased from 300 to 200. Dude, you're either a believer in double shot scorpions or you're not. I'm not, man. I personally just prefer to go into acid instead. And I prefer like my long range acid spamming scorpions. They seem to do much, much better for me. But hey, man, there you go. Double shot cost reduced. Sandworm. Lots of changes here. So attack increased by a chunky 10%. I almost cursed there. Goddamn, YouTube would have come after me. The cost of mechanical division is also decreased by 50 supply. The cost of anti-air decreased from 250 to 100, which is great, by the way, because realistically, if you're going to go anti-air on your sandworms, I mean, you're only pushing that button if you've got 2 or 3 sandworms and you're up against wasps. It's a very, very specific scenario. And then when are you ever going to use the sandworms anti-air for 250 supply, which, let's be real, it's probably going to be your second tech that you buy, so it's actually like 550, you know, depending on what options you've got available. Why would you ever go for this instead of just anti-air Mustangs in that case, you know? I mean, I guess you could use it against Overlords too, but There's just better options, so yeah, I'm pretty happy to see this go all the way down. The cost of Replicate decreased from 250 to 200, just underpicked, honestly a little bit underwhelming too. And the cost of Sandstorm slightly increased, which is fine, because honestly, buying just 1 or 2 Sandworms and buying up Sandstorm, that, it's such an impactful tech. It's such an impactful tech, especially when you consider that Crawlers are by far the superior chaff right now. You throw a Wraith in there as well, putting up the degen aura. You know, the Wraith doesn't want to be getting attacked, so reducing the range of enemies in the Sandstorm is great for protecting your Wraith with the degen beam. There's just a lot of crazy synergies going on right now. So yeah, this definitely needs... Honestly, this could go up to 350 and I think it would still be fine, but I'm fine with them not taking a sledgehammer to it, you know. We've also got some brawl changes, which I think are pretty solid. Stronger unit drops will now appear in the 4-player brawl, and these unit drops are also more expensive. Okay, so you do have to dump more supply in order to pick these up. It's a bit more snowbally though, because now if you get like a steel ball opener or something in the 4-player brawl, and you're just blasting down towers and you're blasting down buildings and you're getting crazy supply lead early on, and then I don't know, a couple of level 4, just a massive stack of super high rank wasps become available, and it's really expensive. You don't mind, right? Because you got that early advantage. But I do like this second change. In the 4-player brawl mode, hackers of level 2 and above will not appear as unit drop. Thank Christ. We can actually have a little bit more fun now in free-for-all with the cheesy, you know, rhino builds, that kind of thing. It's not going to be so easy to just hack the experimental units anymore. Yeah, the hackers, honestly, like, I know that the devs always defend the hackers, like, oh, we need them because they shut down certain strategies and they play a very key role in the game, blah, 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 you know. Yeah, but they also ruin a lot of things in the game. I swear, dude, I feel like the hackers could be tweaked to, I don't know, operate differently somehow. I don't even know how, okay? I just feel like I'd much rather they were replaced with something else to deal with rhinos and to deal with steel ball spams and stuff like that, you know, because that's generally what they're used for. I'm glad to know they're not going to be ruining free-for-all quite as much. That's all I'm trying to say, okay? A lot of personal opinions in here that maybe people will disagree with, but there you go. Bug fixes, blah, blah, blah. Fixed an issue where killing some neutral units did not reward supplies and points. Okay, I mean, cool. Alright, man, those are the notes. Slight nerfs to Wraith degen beam being one of the highlights. I guess nerfs to the battling points in the fortresses being by far the biggest highlight. In particular, the poor fortresses absolutely getting dunked on the shield spam front. And also carry acolytes, just user beware. And we'll leave it at that. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy this little patch note breakdown. Share your thoughts down below. There's quite a lot of stuff here, man. This is quite the significant balance patch, so curious to hear what you guys think about these changes. And I'm going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.